Hey guys, Grandpa's Cabin Life. So I did a video on winterizing the cabin, but when I went back and looked at the video itself, it was a little disjointed. So just wanted to kind of do a summation. So basically, what we did was first order of business: shut off the power to the hot water tank, drained the hot water tank, then went about shutting off the water to the toilet, draining the excess water from the tank, also out of the bowl, adding antifreeze to the bowl itself. Then we basically, once the power got shut off to the cabin, that allowed all the water that was in the lines to drain back out into the wells. So really nothing needed to be done outside. We then put some antifreeze into all of the drains so that the traps, any water left in there, didn't freeze. Emptied the freezer and refrigerator, obviously, emptied the cabinets of anything that could freeze and burst. And the last thing we did was then just blow out the lines just to get whatever excess water that might have been sitting in them out. So that's basically a synopsis, and then the videos go into that in a little bit more detail. So hope you enjoy it. Again, this is the Ranch cabin, Lancaster log cabins. Super easy to winterize and take care of. All right, Grandpa's Cabin
Grandpa's
Life.
Cabin Life. Hey, Grandpa's Cabin Life. So, first order of business, we have this A.O. Smith Signature 100 hot water heater that is installed under the sink. So, first order of business is to drain this bad boy. So, pretty straightforward. If techs would move, shut off the cold water, which is right here. Got the faucet, hot water faucet open to allow air to vent. Hooked up the hose, which goes outside. Turn this to open it. Just uses a simple screwdriver. Open this up also for air to allow it to drain. And that's it. It's currently draining out the hose off the deck. Once it's done draining, what we're going to do is we're going to just turn the cold water back on just for a minute or so, just to kind of flush out any of the additional sediment that's in the bottom, although we already started to get sediment out. Already shut it off at the breaker panel. I think I said that before. So then what we're going to do next is shut off the breakers for inside, empty the refrigerator, anything in the cabinets that is frozen or that could freeze and burst, sauces and things like that, are going to go back home. We are going to pull the additional water or excess water out of the toilet tank, out of the bowl, out of the tank, dry that up. What little bit of water will be left in there, we're going to add antifreeze to the drain for the catch, so any water that's sitting in there won't freeze. Same thing with the kitchen sink. A little bit of antifreeze down the drain. And then what we will do is, once we're all done, pack up everything in the fridge to bring it home and also clean out the freezer. We will shut off, excuse the mess, I just kind of cleaned up from breakfast. We will shut off all the power, including the water pump. Once we shut water off to the, once we shut power off to the water pump, the way the plumber installed the system is that, right, just to touch on winterizing the toilet. So, shut off the valve, flush the toilet, got as much of the water out of the tank as I could. Then just with rags and some paper towels, dried out the excess. And scooped out as much of the water out of the bowl as I could. And then added some antifreeze just to the water that's in there. And again, like I said before, we're going to add antifreeze to both of the sinks just to prevent any water that may be still sitting in the catch from freezing up. All right. Okay, so the last piece of this, so power has been shut off. The water pump is off, so all the water has drained back into the well. Hot water tank has been drained and then flushed a little bit to get rid of some of the sediment. Last step is throwing a little pressurized air into the system, 20 psi, just for about 5-10 seconds, just to blow out whatever excess water is in the lines. And that is it. We are good to go. So I am going to put this away. We're going to pack Tex in the car. All the groceries and everything from the freezer, fridge, all been emptied. Anything that could freeze and burst has been cleaned out. And we are headed home, at least until maple sapping season. So, all right, Grandpa's
So what we
cabin
did was when the plumber installed the water lines from the well, there is a valve that he put in place. So as soon as the water pump is shut off, that valve opens, all the water in the lines drain back out into the well. So don't really have to worry about doing much of anything outside where the water lines come into the house, where the drain lines go out, because they kind of self-drain. So that is a huge plus. After that, we shut all the power down with the exception of one of the outlets upstairs that powers the SIM card or the phone card in the Wi-Fi, so that this way I still have the functioning security camera, also have the Ring doorbell, so plus there's multiple cameras around the property. That's always my biggest fear, is that, if I shut the cabin down, does somebody get up here? And I'm really not terribly worried about that. One, it's likely going to be snowed in. And two, there's multiple cameras. I'll know right away, and Sheriff has been really, really good. They're here super fast. So yeah, takes about, if you have the right tools, about maybe 15-20 minutes to get this all done. Again, once we get off this video here, I am going to pack up the freezer and refrigerator. The hot water tank is still finishing draining. That's got another 5 minutes maybe or so to drain out. And then we're basically packing up and ready to go. Got another, I would say, 4 inches of snow yesterday. Flurries on and off this morning. And then they're forecasting for another significant storm coming up this weekend. So, yeah, Grandpa's cabin life. Probably look to be back up here in maybe the first week of February, if I can, to start collecting sap for maple syrup. I brought everything up that I need to process it up here with me, so weather permitting, and I can access the cabin in February, I'll do some maple syrup making. And I'll video that. That's actually pretty cool if you've never done it. Really actually super easy. So, all right, Grandpa's cabin life. That is the basics of winterizing my Lancaster log cabin. Again, it's pretty straightforward and simple. Not a lot to do. So anyway, guys, take care. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you have a happy and Merry Christmas and New Year. And we'll talk to you soon.